Welcome to The Valley's Voice, Arizona Live's Legal Truths.
Hello and welcome to The Valley's Voice, Arizona Lives and Legal Truths. I'm your host, Travis Meltzer, founder and managing attorney at Valley Injury Law. Today on The Valley's Voice, we're joined by someone who has helped shape the Valley's local food scene one plate at a time. Cecily Maniaci is the founder, owner, extraordinaire of the Toasted Owl Café, a neighborhood favorite known for comfort food, creativity, and a welcoming atmosphere that keeps people coming back. What started as a passion for food and community has grown into a restaurant that reflects the heart of the Valley. Today, we're talking with Cecily about entrepreneurship, creativity, the realities of running a local restaurant, and what it takes to build a place people truly love. Cecily, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Good morning.
Cecily, can you take us back to, the beginning, and how did Toasted Owl Cafe come to life?
Oh, about 11, 12 years passed. I left the Valley and decided to move to Flagstaff. I did grow up in the restaurant industry in the Grand Canyon with my family. And after deciding I didn't want to live in the Valley anymore, I moved up to Flagstaff because it was a change of pace and weather and everything. And I opened a small store. It was about 396 square feet on Birch Avenue. And with the luck and the help of my daughter's friends going to NAU, we turned into quite a success. And we were asked to kind of leave the location we were in because we were taking up the parking and just wreaking havoc in their little office building that we were in. So I looked and found a new spot, which is the one that's on 12 South Mike's Pike in Flagstaff, Arizona. And we built it up and built an amazing business from that. And it's been just nothing but fun and interesting. I feel like I'm the lucky one. I'm fortunate because the people who come through our doors are always just amazed, surprised, and excited to come in because it's the way my mind works is it's a little wild. And I just love having the opportunity to go and buy vintage stuff, which, I have like a shopping addiction, so it keeps me in it keeps me in the shops, which is nice. And we like to rehab everything. So we get the old vintage furniture, the old lamps and owls. And it seems to me that everybody has an owl story. So I think that's been probably the neatest thing to hear from everybody.
No, it's great. I think, with visiting at least the one in Flagstaff, the larger one down there, one, love the food, love how it feels, and it kind of explains how the restaurant is how it is or why it is what it is, because it is. I mean, it kind of you're taking a step into a creative mind, and it's really interesting to kind of walk into, and you found your passion in purchasing items, which I am unfortunately also an addict. So you found it and made it a profession. So no,
Well,
it's incredible.
it,
And so,
it worked out. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And so what inspired the name, the Toasted Owl?
Well, it was a little double entendre. I used to be a teacher and during the Harry Potter days and loved the owl and people were bringing me owls. And so when I decided to leave that career and go back into the restaurant business, I had these owls and I thought, okay, what do I have when I open my first shop? A lot of owls, a toaster, and I'm in Flagstaff, which is, a little toasted. And so we decided to name it the Toasted Owl. And it just stuck. And like I said, it's taken a life of its own. And I just every day I walk into my business and I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is something I created. I can't believe I'm now opening my second shop in Phoenix, which has been thrilling for me to come back down here in a whole different avenue that when I left it. And I'm excited to be back here in Phoenix because it's just beautiful. And then I have the best of both seasons now, which is kind of what I always wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, get away from the heat and then get away from the snow if need be. So no, it's amazing. And so for
Yes.
the listeners that who haven't been as fortunate as I to come to one of your restaurants, how would you describe, what I like to call the Toasted Owl experience to people that have never been?
I would say it's a vintage restaurant with vintage service and vintage food. I think when people come into our restaurant, what I notice is that people are like taken back and they start going, "Oh, my aunt had that lamp or my mother had that table." And it kind of gives them a feeling of, a fond memory. And it's just so much going on that they're not just sitting looking at a menu, they're just getting involved with the whole entire landscape, which is nice. And I think our food, which I have a blast doing the menu because I think about things I loved in my childhood and things that are coming up in the world. And we have a good offering. We have a nice small vegan section, and I try to make a menu that kind of is adapted for everybody and their eating style. We give a very generous proportion. You do not go home hungry. If not, you go with the to-go box. I've always viewed if you're going to eat out and spend the money, you should get a plate full.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and I can attest to those plate sizes. I'm not the smallest person, but I don't think I've ever finished a plate there. So it's no, it's incredible. The food's great, and I I can't say enough about it. Which yeah. So speaking on the menu, I mean, obviously it's based from my perspective anyway. It's based on a lot of the comfort food, kind of like what you said, what makes people feel at home and reminisce about the good times and the throwback. So what's your approach to the menu creation and with implementing seasonal changes especially?
I'm a huge foodie and I'm always studying food and I'm always looking at food. What's the trend? What's this? What's that? And I think what do I like when I go out? And I try to I try to do some unusual things, that are not your everyday omelets and your everyday this. One of our best sellers is like the almond pancake, which I think people are really genuinely surprised about how good it is, but it has a low glycemic index. It's a really good pancake. It's a more healthier version of a buttermilk pancake. It's a almond flour, and we offer a vegan pancake. So I'm a big pancake lover, and I think that because we try to kind of fit in everyone's box, and we know when we eat with other people, you never genuinely understand what they want or don't want. I think our top sellers are, the Flagstaff omelet, which is a wonderful omelet that's stuffed with chicken and lots of other little surprises and topped with avocado and salad dressing. So I kind of get a little creative because I like the different taste profiles. But I think it's, food is a never ending resource to invent something, whether it's a flavor profile or some kind of dish. And some you win and some you lose. So, and what I do now is that I make up things and I ask my staff, hey, what do you think about this? I like to involve everyone. And sometimes they're like, you've lost your mind. And sometimes they're just like, oh, this is amazing. So it's kind of a collaboration.
Yeah. No, and that's great. I think even beyond just the restaurant business, I think you know, creating this collaborative environment. Obviously, it helps and it's beneficial for one like yours that is a creative environment. I think you're right when it's so subjective and food. I mean, you could pick XYZ together and it might work today, might not work tomorrow, based on the temperature, based on a certain spice. So no, it's
Yes,
an incredible way to
exactly.
build.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. No, and so as you know, a hell of a lot
Mm-hmm.
better than I do. Restaurants are a tough business. So, what were some challenges that you had early on as you've created this Toasted Owl community?
Had I known we'd been so popular, I probably wouldn't be so conservative in the square footage of the original owl. Um, but I learn a lot. I try to stay on top of what's going on in the food world, but I think the biggest challenge has been in the last few years, especially in Flagstaff with the new wage and the expectations that people have of eating out because it has gotten very expensive. So in my lifetime, I never thought that yes, eating out was always a luxury. Now I feel like it's really a luxury. So you have to really be aware of what your audience is, how to get people to come to your business because there's a lot of choice, especially in Phoenix and a population this size. There's a lot of choice, but I think our atmosphere, especially in Flagstaff with the dog friendly patio, because I love dogs, and people, I think we're in a time where everybody has dogs and takes their dogs with them everywhere. So
Yeah.
that's been really fun for us, but I would say I just never know what the government's going to do, what the prices are going to be. Are the eggs going to go up or down? Are we going to have some kind of, big shift in the economy. So you just have to kind of ride the wave.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Being a fellow business owner, granted in a very different environment, but you're absolutely right. I think what defines a business owner is not how you present things. It's more on the lines of how you can react to things and adjust and be flexible, figuratively speaking. So no, it's great.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think you guys, I'd say you guys, you have done an incredible job at creating this. I hate to say thing because it's not just a restaurant, right? It's this environment and this community, and so
It's
when
an
you
adventure.
yeah. Exactly. And so, when you walk into Toasted Owl, at least when I have, it feels very community driven beyond the fact that it feels like you're stepping into a creative brain. How intentional was that ambiance for you?
For me, it was very intentional because, like I said, I think that you don't see that. I think the only person who had something similar, or the only business that had something that similar to it, was like the concept of Hard Rock Cafe, where they travel all over the world and they collect these incredibly unique musical things for people to look at and see. And the only difference with me is everything in my life is in my store is for sale. So if you like that lamp or that table or that plate, you can take it home with you. So I think people are really shocked by that. But then at the same time, if you have people who are vintage enthusiasts, it's basically like a vintage store that you can eat at and go home with a really nice lamp. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's funny you brought that up. That's something, well, one, obviously, I don't think I've ever seen it at a different restaurant. So kudos to you for having that. But yeah, I
mhm.
always found it interesting when you could buy the lamp, you could buy that owl picture that's in the corner over there that you've been staring at for the last 20 minutes. So no, you're absolutely right. It again, that's why I call it. It's less of just a restaurant, and it's a place to go. It's a community. Especially, I love the building in downtown Flag. It's very Toasted Owl is probably the best way to
Yeah,
describe it. So obviously you've been ingrained
it
in
is iconic. Yeah. hmm
absolutely. And now you've been ingrained in the Valley food scene for a little while. Um, and you've been riding all those waves, so to speak. So how have you seen the food scene here in Arizona in general, in Flagstaff or Phoenix, really evolve over the last 15 years?
Oh, well, it's involved quite a bit. I've been here since the 70s, and so I've watched it grow. And for me, it's exciting because all of the new things that you can go to. I mean, Phoenix has a huge, huge food scene, but then so does, North Phoenix and Gilbert and Scottsdale. All of these places have unique things about them, and I like to go and find the little niche places because I feel like those are the ones that really need your business and are really love what they're doing, because being in the restaurant business is truly difficult, and I think it's becoming more difficult as time goes by, just for a variety of reasons. But I think that when you can open up something and you're successful, it's really, I think it's I'm speechless, because when you do a business that becomes successful, like every day I walk in my business and I can't believe I've done this. And it's been going on for 13 years. I just walk in and go, wow, I can't believe I've done this. And I can't believe we're successful. And sometimes I think, one day will I walk in and no one will be here? But I love it. And now I have like my family members getting involved, my daughter and my son-in-law, which was kind of a dream I have, to be able to step away a little bit, because I work in my restaurants. I do everything. I can cook, I can wait tables, I bus tables. In fact, about a month ago, I was bussing tables, and this lady said, "It's so nice that the owner hires older people." And I said, "Yeah, it is." I was just cracking up.
Oh
So
man.
I think people are surprised that I'm a working owner.
Agreed. And I think it's one of those things where people just kind of assume that you're owning it. You're not actually working the business anymore, especially in a popular one, because they just assume you're just, rolling in the money, rolling in at 10 a.m., checking in, saying hi to everybody and leaving. So yeah, I think that's a commendable
Ah,
attribute for sure. That after this time, that you're still busting the tables, no matter what hat you're wearing, so to speak.
yep.
So you kind of mentioned it before, um, and I'm actually right down the road from your newest location. So what's next for Toasted Owl? I know the newest location here in Paradise Valley is opening soon. You want to tell us kind of how that came about and how that location was picked?
It came about because actually I'm always scanning what's going on in Phoenix, scanning the health inspection reports, scanning all of these things. And then I saw an episode of Dirty Diners, which I hate to
Yeah.
say, and that cafe was on that program, and so I instantly got on the World Wide Web and found out, who owns that plaza, what's going on with it. I know that plaza really well because I lived in that area for a large percent of my life. So I kept writing emails every week to the owner of the shopping center. He probably thought I was a stalker. And I you know, just was excited to get into that space because I know that area so well. My children grew up there and my family grew up there. So I really wanted to be in that location. And so finally they said, okay. And it took quite a few months to go back and forth with the lease. I think it's the largest lease I've ever signed. And finally, they said, okay. And we started getting into rehabbing the building, which has been quite full of surprises, but nothing to be unexpected. And we're hoping that we get open in the next few weeks. It's just been more an effect of, waiting for the different departments that have to do their job.
Yeah. No, I can imagine that a lot of moving parts, especially when taking over that building that was sitting there for a bit. So,
Oh,
one
yes.
more one more question, then a quick little fun rapid fire, and then I will let you get on with your busy day. Now, when you look around Toasted Owl today, what makes you the most proud of Toasted Owl Cafe?
That it's still in business.
It's a great answer. I love it. No, absolutely. When push comes to shove, that's the point, right? Um,
Yeah. And that people
so
want us. I mean, I get calls every day. Will you come out to Mesa? Will you come out to Colorado? Will you come out here? And that just makes me thrilled. So,
yeah, no, you've hit a unique nerve for sure in your space, and I can appreciate it. So before I let you on with your day, I do love doing like a quick rapid fire questions just to kind of keep you on your toes, and especially this morning, I think it'll be nice anyway. So, um, Cecily, breakfast or lunch?
breakfast.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'm a breakfast for every meal kind of person.
Hmm.
Um, dine in or take out?
Dine in.
Smart. It's where the business is for sure. Uh, favorite breakfast food of all time?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Um, I would say I absolutely love pancakes and I absolutely love breakfast burritos. Those are my two favorite.
Yeah, burritos. That's again my. It's just you can put anything in it at this point. So,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
favorite local spot besides the Toasted Owl, obviously.
Oh gosh, that's a hard one too. I mean, there's the standard LGO, which is nice. Um,
Yeah,
I I kind of like. I really don't have a favorite. I just love going everywhere, trying everything.
yeah. No, honestly, great answer. Keeps people happy. Nobody's upset hearing that answer. So
Hmm.
I'm all for it. So last one. So what's your favorite part of serving the Arizona community?
You know, I'm excited for being down here because it's going to be more of a neighborhood restaurant. In Flagstaff, I think it's a higher tourism ratio. And so you never get to see the same person twice. So I'm a little excited to get really involved in this community. I'm very involved in the Flagstaff community. So I think it'll be nice to make some footprints here and actually come back and meet people. And I have an enormous group of friends in Phoenix. So it's kind of coming back in a different avenue. And they're all kind of, wow, you're so old, yet you're still working. So it's like, I have a lot
Oh,
of fun. So I don't, I think that.
Phoenix is such a great city. And in the 13 years that I've kind of been removed from it, it's grown by leaps and bounds. So I'm rediscovering everything.
Yeah, no, it absolutely has. And it's going to continue to grow. And I think you found a great spot to be kind of the center of that growth. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Well, Cecily, thank you for sharing your story and for creating a place that brings people together through great food and genuine community. To our listeners, if you haven't been to Toasted Owl Cafe yet, it's a Valley staple worth experiencing once they open down there in Paradise Valley or drive up north to Flagstaff. And remember, if you have been in an accident, visit azvalleyinjurylaw.com or find us on Instagram at Valley Injury Law. You can also find our guests' lovely creation on Instagram at the Toasted Owl Café. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review if you've enjoyed today's episode. We appreciate you all joining us on The Valley's Voice. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.